What's up? What's up, beautiful humans? It is the More Power to You podcast with myself, Miss Ngaywa. And today, Badut Feb. I think this is the last Tuesday of Feb. I'm not sure. I think so. But welcome to this episode with myself, as usual. And it is a new episode that I have made, and believe it when I say that I made it. And today we have been on the Busy Neighbors episode. That is, we're learning through other people's experiences. And in this month, it is the month of love. And I'm so sorry I didn't drop an episode on the 14th. But it would be so not really cruel, but I mean, what would it be if we're not following trends, creating things around the very month of love? So I decided in this series. I think this would be the last episode, second last, sorry, on the Busy Neighbors series. And I decided that I should give you a snippet of love, my love life, like just kidding. Anyway, I'm just talking about myself since we've been learning about people, other people's experiences. So why not let you into my life just a little bit? And I mean, it's not si lazima we learn everything from other people, but it's good to learn from other peeps as well. Well, I won't say I'm the most self aware human being out here, but I do know things about myself because I question things about myself so that I may learn or change things about myself. So, this is a story of myself, yeah? And to start from the beginning and still around love and just knowing how to love yourself, I'd start with what brought me to the very aspect of loving myself. And that would be a low self esteem. And I used to have the lowest, not really the lowest, no. I used to have a low self esteem. And when I remember things about my life, which I hope, Najwa, I do not remember most of the things about my life, but for the most things of my life that I do remember, they are the not so good parts, but probably the sad parts. And in the very fact that I do know myself, I do surprise myself sometimes and I do question things. And I am one of those people who could do something, I must say something, alafu eventually ask myself. Hata thank God ile episode ya 14th ya Pod and Bond amkusikia. But sometimes I say something or act in a way and then afterwards I'm like, what the hell was that? Why did I say that? Did I have to say that? Did I have to do that? Did I have to, ask that or whatever it was? And they're usually just actions of after, unajua, like just a reaction of an after a thought, a reaction of a word that I said. But I came to deal with them in a different way, to question myself. What would I do differently? How would I act differently to avoid myself from being in that situation? But let me now not teach really, but share with you something. There is something about learning. To know oneself, to become self aware, it's just about learning and unlearning. And I don't know if you've heard of the one of the psychologists called Ivan Pavlov. There is Ivan Pavlov and Albert Bandura. So Ivan Pavlov is one of the conditioning theorists, and he has two theories. There is operant conditioning and classical conditioning. So classical conditioning is learning through association. Like a person's response can be conditioned. For instance, uh, if you wake up in the morning and you usually the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is brush your teeth, you can associate brushing your teeth with making your bed if you're trying to learn a good habit. Ama if you're trying to teach a toddler to become like afanye kazi, like a sort akue an orderly human being. So you associate something that the toddler does amezoea kufanya in the morning with something that you'd like them to learn, so that akifanya this thing anakumbuka the other, like sa they go together. That is what classical conditioning is about. Ni kama the bell, when in school, it usually conditioned us kujua it's either break ama lunch. So anytime you hear the bell, you know it's either break or lunch. So that is classical conditioning. You just learn through association. And operant conditioning is learning through reinforcement and punishment. So, for instance, like still use a toddler, when you're trying to teach a toddler good, um, like like good characters ama good habits. So, for instance, siku moja, a toddler gets up from eating and takes their plate to the kitchen. And when they come back, the parent is like, good job, good girl. You should go out and play with your friend, or gives them a sweet. That is a reward. It's they have been rewarded for the habit, that for the action wamefanya. So every time atakumbuka that, oh, last time I took my plate to the kitchen after eating and I was rewarded with words of affirmation, na probably given a sweet or given time to go and play. And even the reverse is works the same. That is punishment. When they do not take their plate to the kitchen after eating, waambiwe, you're such a bad boy or bad girl, or you can't go out to play, have time out. That's what parents do nowadays. Or they're beaten up. That is now being punished. It could also make a good habit, because sababu watakumbuka the last time they didn't take their plate to the kitchen, they were punished, or they were not good girled, like when they did something good. And another type of learning is the social learning by Albert Bandura. And he said that learning occurs by observation, imitation, and modeling. So it's definitely what you see. You see someone do, you do the same thing, like you imitate them. So you see, you imitate, and you do what, like it becomes part of what you are, ama what you do. It's actually what influencing is. You people show you things, you see them, you desire, and then you start doing as they do. That's what, like, it's not really it, but it's part of social learning. And I think all these types of learning have been at work throughout my life. So let's talk about low self-esteem. Well, I don't really remember being loved by my mother. It's not that I don't think she didn't love me. I just don't remember times with my mom, and particularly the good ones. But I remember the bad or the sad parts. And the good parts I remember ziko flaky, like kuna times alikuwa anatuletea cake, and when talking about classical conditioning, that is learning by association, every time I'd see her with a brown bag, I'd know goodies are here. So every time I see a brown bag, it reminds me of her. And the things I remember, usually my brother being beaten. That's sad. And I remember the one time, the only time my mother I beat me, that one I remember. It's the only time that she did actually punish me. Alinipiga kofi because I was being stupid. Nilienda kucheza kwa mtaro after nilitoka shule. Can you imagine that? You're supposed to go home after coming from school, but you choose to go and play kwa mtaro. Yeah, I think a slap is the least of the things I deserved that day. But, and also something that I do remember is visiting her in hospital, and when she was being lowered to the ground, and saying that I do not remember the times with my mom apart from those. It's because my brain really shut down. I think really. So talking relating with the low self-esteem before I deviate, it's because when I don't remember actually my mother being loving to me. I don't remember her using words like you are beautiful or I love you or something along the lines that would maybe have built my self-esteem, you know. And maybe she did, but I just don't really remember. So one thing I have learned or noticed about me is that I may have gone through the best of memories. I may have experienced the best of memories throughout my life, but I forget them. And I think something that triggered that is a trauma. Something that triggered that memory loss is the trauma of my mother deciding to check out of the world. What a weird human being. If I was old enough. So I think what my brain does is that I could have the best of times with you, but ukinikosea something that my brain perceives as a wrongdoing to me, it somehow tries to erase every other memory of you that exists in my life. So I think that was a coping mechanism that my brain came up with when that thing happened, when she decided to go away. So, as a trauma response, once I am umenikosea, what my brain will do is that every good thing that we've been through together inaanza ina disappear ama inakuwa lowered down and it's being overpowered by the very one thing bad thing that you've done unto me. But well, I hope I will find a way to treat that so that I'm a draw to a cynical. Say, if you think you are worth being kept in my life, just be a good human to me, and I won't forget you just like that. So apart from that, not knowing, not remembering, yeah, really not remembering having been told you are beautiful, being told I love you, or those words of affirmation. I think part of that added to my low self esteem. And then going forward now, after she decided to check out, things that I've been through in my life, the things that I've experienced, and places that I've grown up in, people that have been around me, I think they just probably added to my lowest self esteem issues. I'm not blaming them, but for instance, when you are in a place, living in a place, and you're told, this actually isn't is watoto wa nyumba, so you can't have that. You can't have that isn't za watoto wa nyumba. Like you can't eat this. These are for the kids of the house. Things like, I grew up as being a quiet human being, and I think the fact that she decided to check out, it was the fact it either built up on nikama my life imekuwa a trauma response. I've been living like a trauma reaction or something like that. Imesahau the wording. But Pia, when she was alive, I used to be a quiet person either way. But I grew up being one of the most quiet human beings. And maybe that would have been the reason why the people around me, probably my family, never really acknowledged me. It's like the people around me, like one of the people I grew up with, yeye angekuwa remembered, like where I was mentioned one time, she would be mentioned 20 times. It's like I never existed in their lives. But oh well. And then unajua, you can really get comfortable because like you get used to things because it's the way of life. And other statements, other things like unajua, people would say, you can't get really comfortable here. This is not, no, this is not really your house. Just unajua, act like you unaweza piga duster, show that you are kind of grateful. That is my interpretation. Maybe that is not what they actually meant, but you just can't get comfortable here. You're just being housed. my interpretation. And once I became aware of my body, now growing up, aside from people's words of just making me know that I am on borrowed places, borrowed things. And once I became aware of my body, you know, people just started making fun of me. One, when I was in primary school, I don't know what happened to. Normally, I am knocked knees, but not really knocked. But they are knocked. I walk, my knees do not really gongana, but I have a little bit. I wasn't aired in the sun, vizuri. Maybe I was, maybe just sikukula enough calcium. The biology teacher would tell you. But once I was people would make fun of me. Nilikuwa natembea nika niko bent. Sikuwa natembea ka ni zangu ziko straight kabisa. So nilikuwa natembea nika I am still the Homo sapiens. No, huyo ni ako so elevated. Yes, that one. Ule before Homo erectus. Oh my God, I can laugh about it now. People used to make fun of me. And well, I was like, until I started walking, unajua nikitembea, I have to make sure that the back of my knee iko straight. Nimetembea, nikirudisha iko straight. I was learning to walk again at primary school. And apart from people making fun of me, unajua, the people I grew up with, I was not the most, I didn't have the most desirable qualities. Najua, the curvy hips. Titties, the Lord had blessed me with titties, but who cared about titties, you know? Who really cared about titties? I'm literally laughing throughout this episode. I'm wondering what the tissue is for, but thank you. Even now, unajua, there was the standard for beauty was curves, like the figure 8. So it's titties and the curvy hips, yeah. So that was the standard of until squeezy body positivity came in. I was never the most desirable. My physical qualities are not the most desirable. Well, who really knows? Anyway, also in school, I was not part of the most popular people. Najua, nilikuwa tu ule msee who going to walk straight. I was, huh? Oh, Jehovah. And going to uni now, that was the epitome of the ghetto. My God. Anyway, going to uni, I had the roughest of faces. Not just sahi bado haija. The face, the nini smoothness haija perfect. But I had, oh my God, it was the ghetto. The clothes that I used to wear. Unajua, I went to a bougie, punk uni. And people would show up. Yani ni watu iwa, they're the bougie kids living in the suburbs, Kilimani, Lavi, and all those things. But I was from a bougie. I was living in a bougie place, but not living my life. How I would dress, the shoes I'd wear, my face. It was just the ghetto. Okay, God, thank you. Thank you for now. But I'm so sad for them. Like I sit and wonder what as in watu walikuwa naniona na nguo nimevaa and walikuwa najiuliza nini really. Are they like, this poor child? Is she on a scholarship? Anyway, let me laugh now. Let me laugh now. Anyway, now that I look back, I think probably those could be the things in a zili just built up on to my low self-esteem. I used to be an angry human being. Like if someone would say something about me, like ingeniumiza roho, it would really, really hurt me because I felt like they were attacking me. But then again, I also read a quote where someone said, sometimes it's not the words that someone is saying, it's the ear that is listening. It could be listening from unajua, and I receive from like an attack while someone is not really attacking you. They're just giving an opinion of what they see. Ama they're just telling you so that next time you'll be better at it. And something that also changed how I received things was my sister. One day, someone was saying something about me, and she said, "So, what if you are that thing?" I mean, it could be true, but so what about it? And that really, like for real, it changed how I see things. And right now, someone would say something about me, and I think about it, and I'm like, actually, that's funny. And I laugh, like genuinely laugh about it. Or someone would say something, and I go aside and think, like, do I really act like this? Do I really think like this? Is it something that I should change, or I like it that way? If I like it, I keep it. And if I don't, then I work towards changing it. And I really thank her for that. Kama si yeye, sahi ningekuwa nimebeba watu. Mtu akisema something about me and I might come at them or just hold it in and try to erase them and let my brain do the thing of erasing them from my life. But nowadays, I just learn from it. And something that now, recently, after all those things, now the narrative about loving yourself, people started the loving yourself thing. I started questioning myself. So, how do you know that you actually love yourself? Because for you to not have a low self-esteem, then you have to actually love yourself. You have to love yourself enough to change the things that you do not like. My body, I worked out. Say, I imagine I don't even care, man. I can work out. And squeezy, actually body positivity, although kuna the desirable kind of body, yeah, but body positivity imefanya people see themselves differently. You know your body, you love your body, kwa sababu you can't force your body to look a certain type of way, and it's not meant to look like that. And you cannot afford a BBL. Ha! Brazilian butt lift. Sikuwa najua the full names. Thanks to our social media manager who taught me something before I came to you with content. Anyway, so I started questioning myself. What does self-love look like? What does loving myself look like? How do I know, how does someone know that they actually love themselves? And how do I even tell some people that I love them if I don't love myself? Because the Bible says, love your neighbors as you love yourself. And to me, that means that how do I love my neighbor if I don't know how to love myself? How do I reflect love if I don't know myself how to love mimi mwenyewe? And for me to be able to know how to love others, I'm a had to know how to love myself. And bado, I have not really figured it out. And I know, and another thing ilifanya I came to that question is there was someone that there is someone that I have feelings for. There's someone that I have feelings for. I have been having feelings for them for the past 5 years. And sometimes the same way wale watu uncut wamekuwa on and off. Sometimes I do not love them. I don't have the feeling of loving them. And I asked myself, if your feeling is never there all the time, what will sustain that relationship? What will keep that relationship going? And it took me to 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. And if you would let me, so that I enlighten you in this month of love. For me, that would be, like I keep on saying in this podcast, my basis of learning will always be the scriptures. And what better way to know love than from the scriptures? The Bible says that love is when a man gives his life for another. I mean, it's describing Jesus Christ. He actually gave his himself, giving one's life for another. That is what Jesus Christ did. And to read First Corinthians chapter chapter 13 from verse 4, it says, love is patient, love is kind, it doesn't envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So love should never fail. And if I tell someone that I love them, it means that I am choosing not to fail in love. And love, the kind of love that I want to show myself and I want to reflect it to other people, is a love that is patient. Wow. One that is kind and it doesn't envy. Clearly, one that does not fail. It is not limited by time. It's not limited by emotions, by feelings. It's not limited by memories. Love that is literally depicted in First Corinthians 13 4 to 8. So, as you are in this month of love, as mimi nikijipeana huko hivyo na low self esteem issues zangu, I just wanted to learn to love myself, learn to know myself, learn to sit down and ask myself, yeah, that whatever I said was bullshit. But how do I keep myself from saying BS, bullshit, next time? How do I keep myself from acting a fool next time, or doing things that will make me feel like I am not worthy of anything, or make me feel that I am not deserving of anything? And I am one person, like I used to, like, no, I used not to care, but squeezy, it's very sad that I care sometimes. But I am one of those people who, if you feel that I am probably toxic enough, I may be a little bit toxic, but if you feel like I am not deserving enough for you to give give your time to me. Like, niliona someone posted that actually the start of this year, people are being cut off. And I am one of those people who would be like, if you feel like I am not giving you, I am not worth being kept in your life, ama see add any value to your life, just do away with me. I do not actually mind it. I am one of those people who support people who choose themselves. And if I am one of those people who are making you not choose yourself, then I would be better off. You would be better off doing life without me. I am one of those people who actually let people choose themselves, allow people to choose themselves, even if it's at my expense. Sababu, it's life, as in, people want peace. Hata mimi, if I was to do away with people, I would. I would. But no man is an island. Here we are doing life and loving people. So, as you, in as much as haukupata flowers this Valentine's, haukupata pesa, haukupata chocolate, or ulitumiwa tu I love you, ama happy Valentine's, you have the gift of life, which is very important. But in as much as you didn't get that, I know it's very cliche to say learn to love yourself, but it will help a lot. It will really help you a lot to learn to love yourself, not to accept yourself. Learn to love yourself. To accept yourself would mean kuna vitu zingine you do that are shitty and you do not want to change. So you just want to live with your shitty self like that. You can't hold shit in for long, my friend. So love Learn to love yourself by wanting to keep the good and do away with the bad. So that has been it on this uh, beautiful podcast. This is the last episode of the Busy Neighbors um, series. The last one, I'll be doing the sister and the brother. So I hope you did enjoy this one. I thought ni narrator mzuri ule wa bring people to tears, but turns out it just make people laugh. But anyway, I'm not a comedian, but it's been real. First March is my birthday. Nimekuwa nikisema, but oh my god, guys, it's just I don't want to talk about it. I just want gifts. But catch you on the next one. It's been real. Make sure to share, subscribe, and tell the tax collector while ana collect tax. Like kuna podcast inaitwa The More Power to You podcast. And also, yeah, I don't think I have anything to say. Catch you on the next one. It's been myself, Miss Ngaiwa. Adios. Bye.